Good morning, everyone. My name is Mirza. I'm from Costa Rica, and the title of my project is Cruzando Fronteras, the migration journey of the Ngöbe-Buglè. This project is about the Ngöbe-Buglè and their migration from Panama into Costa Rica to harvest the coffee in the south and the highlands of the country. Indigenous inhabitants of Panama, these migrants face major issues, both in their country of origin as well as their destination, Costa Rica. Based on 6 months of fieldwork and interning with a public health outreach program from the International Organization for Migration in Costa Rica, the study explores the challenges and opportunities that the Ngöbe-Buglè migrants face as they migrate to seek the means to improve their lives. Through a series of oral histories, it presents people's experiences working in Costa Rica and the issues they face as migrant indigenous people. The primary issues include the arbitrary employment practices of farm owners, the indifference of Costa Rican health to their health, welfare, and labor rights, as well as issues of poverty and healthcare. So this slide shows the different components in my project. The first one, motivos para migrar, the reasons to migrate, país de origen, en mi lugar, where I come from, familia, relaciones con el país de origen, family, motivos para quedarse, aquí y allá, here and there, and principales problemas que enfrenta la población Ngöbe-Buglè en Costa Rica, main difficulties. This table of contents was the result of the topics were the most interesting for me, but also what people pointed out to me as the most pressing issues or the interest. So just to give you a bit of background information, here's a map of Costa Rica. You can see the north of Panama, Chiriquí, and Boca del Toro, which are the main places where this population comes from. They migrate every year around September. They first come to this town here called San Vito, which is in the south of Costa Rica and where the coffee harvest season starts. And then they move up to Zona de los Santos, San Isidro and Zona de los Santos, where I mostly did my work. And then they return every year around February and March to their places of origin back in Panama. So just to show with you a bit of what I learned and what these people taught me, I wanted to choose the topic about the difficulties that the Ngöbe-Buglè face in Costa Rica. In the picture behind me, you can see a Ngöbe-Buglè man harvesting the coffee. This is a coffee bush. And then this is one of the houses that are provided by farm owners and, well, the children. This population migrates with their families and their extended relatives, so the children also play a very important part in the whole migration pattern. So from my interviewees, I gathered 4 main topics about the difficulties they face to do with their relations with farm owners, their housing, their salaries, and their health insurance. So let me share with you an extract from an interview. The man said, "He took us there, the farm, for he was going to pay to find us a good house. He was going to pay us well, and he was not going to mistreat us. But when we got there, the house was not only for us, and he paid very cheaply, 250 colones, something like that. On top of that, the toilets were not working. The toilets were horrible. We asked if he could build some other toilets. He says, if you don't like it, you know, I cannot do anything for you. He had told us that he was going to pay 350 colones. But once we were at the farm, he started paying 200. And if you like it, and if you don't, you can find another place. We were already there, and all the farms were full with workers, so we had to just take it." I think this extract exemplifies quite well the difficulties that this population faces in terms of work, housing, and their conditions in general. As migrant indigenous people, they have very few places where they can complain or could just decide to change a farm. So, as some conclusions, there are 2 important components about this project. Number 1, the fieldwork that allow me to gain in-depth understanding of the surrounding issues of the migration trajectory of the Ngöbe-Buglè. And also during that time, I was able to interview people and I witnessed their living and working conditions. The second part is the written piece, which critically reflects on those experiences. Using insights from the Ngöbe-Buglè informants, I reflected on my field experiences and struggled to transform my field notes into an accurate portrayal of their situation. I was outraged by the exploitation that this population was exposed to, and yet I learned that migrating is a strategy to obtain better life conditions for themselves and their families. I involved myself in the intricate process of presenting this story from the Ngöbe-Buglè perspective, while at the same time analyzing the issue from a social justice standpoint. This work reflects my interest in social justice, development, and anthropology. I understood how privileged I was, and also the responsibility I hold both as a Costa Rican and as a field researcher. After graduation, I will be going back to Costa Rica, and in a year, I hope to join a grad program in which I can continue exploring some of these issues. Thank you.